Welcome to the Quirk Lab, where weird human habits meet hardcore science. You are exhausted, your eyes sting, your pillow is right there, and some honest part of your brain knows tomorrow would be easier if you went to sleep right now. So naturally, you open one more video, then one more. Then suddenly it is 1:37 a.m., and the weirdest part is not that you stayed up. The weirdest part is that you watched yourself decide to do it. That little act of self-sabotage has a name: bedtime procrastination. Online, you will often see the sharper phrase, revenge, bedtime procrastination, as if the night is taking revenge on the day. But scientifically, the interesting part is not the name. It is the contradiction. Sleep is one of the few things almost everyone agrees they need more of. Tired people want sleep. They value sleep. They predict that losing sleep will hurt. And still, night after night, many people delay it. The usual explanation is simple. You lack self-control. And sometimes, yes, self-control is part of the story. But a 2026 synthesis in the journal Sleep argues that bedtime procrastination is broader than a single willpower failure. People postpone sleep for different reasons. Some are deliberate. Some are automatic. Some are tied to the body's clock. Some are not really procrastination at all, but a rational response to a day that left no room to breathe. So tonight's question is not, why are you so bad at going to bed? It is, which system is keeping you awake? Let's start with the simplest version. Bedtime procrastination usually means delaying sleep later than intended, even though there is no obvious external reason to stay awake, and the person expects the delay to have a cost. In actigraphy studies, where sleep is estimated with wrist-worn movement sensors, researchers have found that this pattern can translate into meaningful lost sleep because wake-up times often stay fixed. If your alarm still rings at 7 o'clock, a later bedtime does not magically move the morning, but that definition hides a trap. From the outside, 4 people can look identical. All 4 are in bed with a phone. All 4 are tired. All 4 say, "I should sleep." Yet their brains may be doing 4 different jobs. Path 1 is autonomy recovery. Finally, this time belongs to me. If your day was packed with obligations, interruptions, caretaking, school, work, or other people's needs, nighttime can become the only territory that feels self-directed. The scrolling is not just entertainment. It is a small, private rebellion against a day that overruled you. This is why the word revenge feels emotionally accurate, even when it is not a formal diagnosis. The target is not sleep itself. The target is the feeling that the whole day was spent under someone else's schedule. Going to bed can feel like surrendering the last controllable minutes you have. Path 2 is automatic time loss. This version feels less like a rebellion and more like falling through a trap door. You do not strongly choose to stay up. You choose a tiny next action. One short, one level, one episode, one message. Each action has a reward, and each reward narrows your attention. The cost is delayed because tomorrow is abstract. The pleasure is immediate because the screen is right there. In this pathway, the important mechanism is not that you secretly hate sleep. It is that the night's reward environment is built out of frictionless loops. A tired brain is not usually at its best for long-range planning, and platforms are very good at making stopping feel like an active decision. Continuing is the default. Stopping requires waking up enough to interrupt the loop. Path 3 is circadian timing. Some people are simply more alert later. Chronotype is the tendency to feel sleepy and wakeful at different times of day. A recent scientific report study examined bedtime procrastination as a possible link between evening chronotype and insomnia symptoms. The key word is possible. The data are observational and self-reported, so they do not prove that chronotype causes insomnia through procrastination. But the idea matters. If your biological clock leans late, the socially approved bedtime may arrive while your body still feels inconveniently awake. That creates a nasty mismatch. At 11 o'clock p.m., you may be cognitively tired from the day, but not physiologically ready to sleep. So you fill the gap. You watch something, you answer messages. You do anything that makes not sleepy yet feel less like lying in the dark with your own thoughts. Then the gap becomes a delay, and the delay becomes a pattern. Path 4 is avoidance of tomorrow. Sometimes staying up is not about wanting more night. It is about not wanting the next day to begin. Sleep is a strange doorway. Once you cross it, morning arrives. If tomorrow contains conflict, boredom, pressure, grief, unfinished work, or another round of the same exhaustion, delaying sleep can feel like delaying the future. This is where bedtime procrastination gets psychologically sneaky. The person may not be avoiding sleep, they may be avoiding transition. Going to bed asks you to stop distracting yourself, put down stimulation, and meet the unresolved shape of tomorrow. The late-night activity becomes a buffer between you and the next demand. Now the four-path model is visible. The same sentence, "I stayed up on my phone," can mean, "I needed control. I got caught in an automatic loop. My body clock was late." Or, "I was avoiding tomorrow." And there is a fifth boundary case worth naming: strategic delay. Sometimes people postpone sleep because there is genuinely no better option. A parent, a worker on an unstable schedule, or a student facing a real deadline may be making a trade-off, not committing a mysterious failure. This is why generic advice can feel weirdly insulting. Put your phone away is useful if your main pathway is automatic time loss. It is less useful if the deeper problem is that your day contains zero protected time for yourself. Have a consistent bedtime may help many people, but it will land differently for someone whose chronotype, work schedule, or caregiving responsibilities fight that schedule every night. Think of bedtime procrastination as a dashboard warning light, not a personality flaw. The light tells you something is happening. It does not tell you which part of the engine is responsible. So how do you tell the pathways apart? The first clue is the feeling before the delay. If staying up feels defiant, precious, or like the only part of the day that is mine, autonomy recovery is probably involved. The question becomes, where can some protected, self-directed time move earlier in the day, even if it is small? 10 minutes that are truly yours at 7:30 p.m. may do more than another lecture about discipline at midnight. If the delay feels foggy, repetitive, or almost accidental, automatic time loss is probably involved. The question becomes, what makes stopping easier before the loop begins? This is where boring environmental design matters. Charge the phone outside the bed. Put a real stopping point before the last episode. Use an alarm that means begin shutdown, not you failed again. The goal is not to become a heroic sleep monk. It is to reduce the number of high-effort decisions required from a tired brain. If you feel mentally alive late at night and genuinely not sleepy at the bedtime you picked, circadian timing may be part of it. That does not mean the clock is impossible to shift, and it does not mean all late nights are biologically destined. It means the plan has to respect timing. Light exposure, consistent wake times, caffeine timing, and evening stimulation can matter, but persistent insomnia symptoms are a reason to get professional help rather than treating a YouTube video as medical advice. If the delay feels heavy, avoidant, or tied to dread, the problem may be tomorrow. Here, the most useful intervention may not start at bedtime at all. It may be writing down the first concrete step for the morning, reducing one source of dread. or creating a softer landing between the day and sleep. The brain often resists vague threats more fiercely than specific tasks. Notice what changed. We did not ask, "How do I force myself to sleep?" We asked, "What job is staying awake doing?" That is the central twist. A behavior can be harmful and still be functional. Late-night scrolling can cost sleep and still provide autonomy. It can be irrational in the long run and still make perfect sense to the short-range brain. It can look like laziness while quietly carrying stress, circadian mismatch, reward design, or unmet psychological needs. This does not make sleep loss harmless. Short sleep can affect mood, attention, and daily functioning, and chronic insomnia symptoms deserve real care. But shame is a bad diagnostic tool. When people treat every late night as proof of weak character, they miss the mechanism that would actually change the pattern. So the next time you are exhausted, phone in hand, watching yourself refuse the pillow, try one quieter question. What am I protecting right now? Control, stimulation, a late body clock, distance from tomorrow? The answer may not fix the night instantly, but it turns a vague failure into a map. And once you know which system is keeping you awake, bedtime stops being a moral test and becomes a design problem. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed exploring the science behind everyday quirks, subscribe to the Quirk Lab, and I'll see you in the next one.